Hello, Elliot, YouTube celebrity.
Hey, if only, right? How are you?
Good. It is like talking to a celebrity, People get to know who you are. You don't know us, but we know you. So
I
it's
know
kind
we
of a
talked
funny.
before though, so I know you pretty. I don't know you well, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I got
Well,
a gist.
yeah, we're on Instagram. Yeah, we've chatted before, but still, it's
And we
not
had a
via
session before,
phone.
correct?
No, I've never had a session with you. So you're
Oh,
confusing me with one of your other girls.
there's too many. I have a lot of sessions. I apologize. So what's the
It's
issue
okay.
then?
Okay, so I'll just get right into it. Basically, it's already resolved itself, I think,
Okay.
really in a bad way. I think it's actually over now.
Oh,
So
okay.
I really probably don't need the session, but I already paid for it, so I might as
Hmm.
well tell you what happened and you could tell me what I did wrong or
Okay. Yeah.
whatever.
Go ahead.
Okay, so it's kind of a long story. I'll try to keep it short though.
Hmm.
Okay, so first of all, I got my heart broken by this guy that I didn't even like at first. I met him at school, and he was pursuing me, and it wasn't my type or whatever. But I ended up falling for him, and I think part of the reason too that maybe I'm kind of messed up right now is that my son actually passed away about September,
Oh, damn.
so
Sorry.
things have been just kind of rocky. So anyway,
Hmm.
as far as meeting this guy, things went pretty slowly, but they progressed every week pretty naturally because we saw each other in class and stuff. And then after a few months, I brought up the exclusivity. Now, one question I have about that. We didn't have 6 to 8 dates in that 2 month period. So I think you had said in your videos, whichever comes first, right? So if we'd only been on 4 dates, but 2 months comes up, is that still
Well,
the
it
right
depends
time?
on it depends on how. The reason I say that is because I'm making the assumption that there is some type of consistency with communication over those 2 months. So if you and I, for example, been on 4 dates, but you and I are chatting along, every day or a huge majority of those days and stuff like that, I feel like
Mhm.
that would kind of make up for it. But at the same time, I think four is a little low. Usually, when I say that, I also make the assumption, maybe that's my fault, that you would at least be on like 5 or 6, dates. Because
Mm.
if you think about it, if you're on 4 dates, and I don't know how that's spread out, but if we just were to do it evenly, that's once every 2 weeks. Like that's not okay.
Okay, gotcha.
But
I
you also
think,
saw him at school, right?
yeah, that's why I didn't know.
Okay, so that's
I was
okay
just
then.
kind of
Yeah.
balanced that. Like we probably went, we saw each other outside of class
Yeah. Yeah.
4 times maybe. He was gone in Jamaica for a few weeks because it was
Mm-hmm.
over Christmas, but we
Mm-hmm.
saw each other in class. So,
Okay.
and then he FaceTimed me like a lot
Okay, so that's yeah. I
instead of
think
just
that makes
texting.
up for. I mean, it gets to. I always the reason I always say don't do it so early. Like 2 months is because, or 8 dates, whatever comes first. If you do it too early, you might freak a dude out. If you do it too late, he takes advantage of you or takes you for
Hmm.
granted. But that time window I give people, it's just to get to know the person. And if you're FaceTiming, you've seen him several times outside of school, and you have a class together, he knows what he's getting into.
Okay, because I kind of was worried that I did it prematurely, and I'll tell you
You
why.
could
I'll
have,
tell you
yeah.
the story, then
Okay.
you could review it afterwards.
Hmm.
Okay, so anyway, I asked him about exclusivity, and he said he wasn't ready for it. And he kept talking. He kind of freaked out when I asked him, but we, we stopped messing around or whatever. And
Hmm.
I was gonna leave, and he just said stay and held me or whatever, and then I left. Anyway, things went back to normal after that. He was still talking to me, but I kind of noticed him pulling away a little bit, and so I kind of did the whole like, hey, I noticed that you're pulling away, and I think we both deserve to be with people that we want to be with, blah blah blah. And then he came back. He actually FaceTimed me after that, and he's like, look, I do actually really like you. I just I don't want to commit. I don't want to commit right now. But we could keep seeing each other this way if you want to. I'm down for that, but I also don't want to keep you from someone. Like, if I'm just not a relationship kind of guy, and if that's what you're looking for, I don't want to keep you from someone that's right for you. So I was supposed to think about what I wanted,
I
and
think I
then a
already
week
know
went.
the problem, but I'll let you finish.
Okay, yeah, sure. So then another week went by, and then I ended up saying, hey, look, I don't want that. I want to be I just don't think we could even be friends. This isn't going to work for me. And
Oh,
he
good. Yeah.
flipped out. He really flipped out about it. And he was really disappointed, which kind of confused me because I thought I'm giving you an out. But he was like, oh, I don't understand why you don't even want to be friends. I don't want this. And he's like, I've stayed friends with other people in the past. Like his ex-girlfriend, she's remarried and she's this good little Christian girl that lives out of state, and they talk all the time. And he just didn't understand. And then he's like, oh, sex ruins everything. If we hadn't had sex, you'd still be in my life. So, I thought based on him saying that he genuinely really did care about me as a person, because it wasn't just about the sex. But I still told him, no, I'm sorry. I said, maybe we'll be friends later, but I have to think about it. I really just need some space to think and detach and all that stuff. So I would say the next couple of weeks after that, he still tried to contact me, and I was pretty cold. And then he finally left me alone, which he later told me that he stopped because I was like super cold and whatever. So anyway, fast forward a month or so after that, I was pretty miserable. I still wasn't over him, even though I stayed strong. I was going on dates still, having trouble being interested in other people, didn't want anything to do with them because my pathetic self missed this
No, it's not
guy.
pathetic. You're human. It's human emotion.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, still
I get what you're saying, though. Yeah.
Way. But yeah. Anyway, I had to work with him through school still, and I was on a project with him where I had to interview him. He's a recovered alcoholic for like 9 years now. He's 30, in case you're wondering why are we so old at university? But anyway, so during the interview series, I learned a lot more about him, and it just kind of reinforced what a cool person he was. And I decided, okay, I still want him in my life as a friend. And obviously, I will admit that I had ulterior motives too, that I thought maybe we could we have a reset and we could try again, casually or whatever. So there was definitely chemistry still. I reached out to him. I said, I still would like to navigate a friendship. And he said,
no, hey, come on, man. No.
Is that what I did wrong? Okay.
There's a lot. I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but there's already a lot of things I think, but we'll go over them all.
Okay. I don't want you to forget. Do you want to stop and comment before I keep going?
Yeah. Okay. Don't hate me when I say this, because I think we talked about this before. What's the age gap?
He's 30 and I'm 40.
Okay, there you go.
But wait.
No,
you got to know something, though.
Okay, go ahead.
Just last year, I had a 30-year-old ask me to marry him. And this morning, I had a 19-year-old who's been pursuing me now for 6 months and wants to be in a relationship with me, Elliot.
Hey, listen, women tell me that all the time, but it all ends the same way. They always say it never works out. Now, when I say that, I don't mean this literally, it will never work out. It's impossible. But it's the huge exception to the rule. I've done this for 10 years. I do not. I up to 10 years so far, and I do not have one client who ended up being still together today, like long term, with someone with a 10-year age gap.
I see. Well, maybe the ones that worked it out didn't need to call you.
Well, that's true too, but they always end up reaching back to me, is what I'm saying, and saying it didn't work out. So yeah,
I see.
I hate to say it, but and I knew it right away. That's why I said I think I know what the problem was 5 minutes ago. It's usually when things are like that. And again, I know you don't want to hear it because we talked about it before, but it's usually an age gap. Why? Let me think of it like this, and do not take this the wrong way. This is going to sound horrible.
It's okay. I probably already know the truth.
No, but why would a 30-year-old marry a 40-year-old when he can marry a 25-year-old?
Well, if he doesn't want to have kids.
Does he want to have kids?
I don't think so. I actually don't know.
He's 30. He don't know what he wants.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he knows.
And he's not he said he's not a relationship guy. I used to be that guy. And you know what I really liked? Messing around with older women.
Oh.
But when I want a relationship, it's just taboo, mature, less drama. But when I want a relationship, it's going to be with a younger woman.
I see.
Because she can have my kids. It's just more, it's just things like that.
What if you're a guy that doesn't want to have kids, though?
I personally don't want... I say that. Let me contradict myself. I personally don't want kids, but I still want a younger woman.
Okay. Well, the same reasons why an older woman would want a younger man.
Yeah. I mean, well, why would you want a younger man?
because they're more attractive.
Okay, well, yes, and so are young. If you think a younger man's more attractive, trust me, younger women
Yeah.
are more attractive. Don't take the wrong way. I'm just saying. I'm not
Yeah.
saying you're not. But that's just. I mean, and again, this is not me talking. This is like evolutionary psychology talking. Men are
Right.
attracted to youth. Like youth is more fertile. Youth,
Hmm.
like that's just what the brain goes for. I'm not saying women can't get attractive with age. They can. I know women who are more
Right.
attractive with age, but I'm not even saying about attractiveness. Just youth itself is an attractive trait.
Right. What if I look younger? I mean, most people think I'm in my early 20s when they
Well,
meet
you
me.
look younger, but then you're competing against women who are actually 25 and look 25. There's a difference between looking 40 and then looking 30, and then being 30 and looking 25, or being 30 and actually looking 30.
No, what I'm saying is I look like
No, no, no.
I'm
I know,
in
I
my
know, but
20s.
I know. What I'm saying is, let's say you're 40, you look 30. Um,
Right.
you're competing against women who look 30 and who are actually 30.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about looking youthful, because I do look youthful. I
It's
act
it's
youthful.
it's
It's
being
actually
youthful. It's
being
actually
younger.
being, yeah. That's the,
I
and women
see.
hate on me about this all the time. And I'm like, well, I'm
Hmm.
just the messenger. You can look at every
Right.
single fucking study out there. Men prefer younger women.
Sure.
I'm not
Well,
saying you
okay.
can't date older. I'm not saying they're not attractive. I know plenty of attractive women who are out of my league, that are older. But
Hmm.
when it comes to longevity, long
Right.
term, nest egg, commitment, investing, all that, I want a younger woman.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not hating you on you for that. I'm trying to figure out why and see if if the reasons why. I mean, I look at people that are my age. Most of them look a lot older than me. So I am kind of wondering when they're doing those studies, of course, a 25-year-old man is going to say, "No, I'm not attracted to that woman." So
No, no, no.
if
He's gonna
there's
be. He's attracted
exceptions.
to you. There's a difference. See, women come to me all the time and say this, and it's like, oh no, no, no. I'll fuck the shit out of you. I'll invest for 6 months. I'll treat you like a girlfriend, like whatever that like these guys have done in your past, and I've done myself. Like, oh no, I'll do this
Right.
with you. I'll invest in you. I'll treat you like a girlfriend. I'll treat you right. Respectfully and all that, and consistent, and 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, whatever.
Hmm.
But when it comes, as long as we're on the same page, but when it comes to say, hey, you're my girlfriend, and I
Right.
see myself being with you for the next 40 years, no. They'll
Okay.
still
And you
invest
know
in
that
you.
from the get. Do you know that from the get-go?
Yeah, but I hate saying it like that because it's like I'm making it sound very black and white. Like I said, just because a
Hmm.
guy, okay, let's just say it was you and me, right? And
Right.
well, I'm 34. Either way, um,
Right.
and like it doesn't mean I can't like you more. It doesn't mean I can't think, wow, like this girl's fucking awesome. This girl's cool as hell. I want to be around her more.
Right.
It doesn't mean I don't find you very attractive. Like I can do. It's not just like when you think of friends and benefits. It's not like, oh well, I don't want to be with her. I just want to bang her, so I'm just going to treat her like a piece of meat. No, no, these guys can, like I would treat you just as well. I would treat
Right.
you, yeah, court you, take you out, all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to commitments, like not even boyfriend girlfriend, I mean like long term longevity. Like I see
Right.
you as the one. It's very very rare.
Gotcha. Well, okay. Let me ask this question then. Oh, sorry. I am not ever interested in getting married again. Does that make a difference at all? This is my ideal. I've been married twice, and that ship has sailed for me. I'm
Yeah,
done
yeah,
with that. I
yeah.
do not want to get married.
Hmm.
I would actually like a relationship. I still want a long-term relationship, but don't even want us to live together. I would just like a committed relationship where we're exclusive with each other, but we still
But
live
okay,
in
but
our
that's
own
because you
home.
have, okay. Think of it like this. Then you're in a different stage of life. If you're two marriages ahead of a 30-year-old who's never been married, he wants a
Right.
25-year-old who has never been married and have start a family with her.
Maybe if he wants kids.
Well, I'm just saying. Okay, well then
Yeah.
yeah. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying though. Like you're past that stage. That guy hasn't even experienced the world of marriage yet.
But what if he doesn't want to? Because there's a lot of guys that don't want to get married. So
Well,
should
then why would
I?
why would I not just stick with you as a friends of benefits and talk to other women then?
Ooh, good point. Because you'd be jealous. if I was sleeping with other people, like men are territorial.
That's
So if
true.
you're
No,
attached,
that no,
if
that's
you're
that.
attached to me emotionally, maybe like if you have an emotional attachment and you're territorial, maybe there would be like an agreement that we wouldn't sleep with other
Well,
people.
yeah, but then I would. I mean, like I said before about like the age thing. Just because you're older doesn't mean I'm not going to treat you well. Yeah, that could happen, but that goes. I
Hmm.
mean, it's still unrealistic because
Sure.
it would be one of those things where it's like is I always say this in my videos like is the asset worth the cost? It's like yeah, I don't want you sleeping with other women or men or whatever you're into. I don't want you
Right.
sleeping with other men, but if that means I have to commit to you, it's not worth the cost because I don't want a
Right.
relationship at the end of the day.
Well, then what was the scenario? Like, okay, so I told you last year this guy I was dating asked me to marry him, and I said no, and I broke things off. I mean, that gives me this sense of, oh, I can date 30-year-olds and they'll ask me to marry them. Like, even though I don't want
Well,
marriage,
one, I
it's
think it's
still
the exception to the rule, and two, don't take us the wrong way, it didn't play out.
okay.
It didn't play
Only
out.
because I said no. I
I
said no, though.
I know, but I've seen it play out, and it doesn't usually work. It doesn't
Oh,
get to the point where it's like we're walking down the aisle.
okay. What usually happens? I'm just curious now.
Exactly what's happening in your situation. The
Oh,
guy
they pull
tries,
away.
yeah, the guy. Well, so what happened here is this guy tried to because if it's like well and again it's a kind of a taboo thing. I want to marry a younger woman. Messing around with an older woman is sexy. Well, younger or fucking just women in general,
Yeah.
yeah, a younger woman or an older woman sexy. So I think he likes the assets he's getting from you. Obviously if you're
Hmm.
hanging out, having fun, hooking up, you're a good looking girl, you're attractive, you're fun to be around. Like, why would he not want to continue that? So he is going to
Right.
negotiate what he's doing. Oh man, I like you. I just don't want a relationship. But man, that means I don't want to lose you though. Like we can keep on. Like, he's going to
Right.
try to negotiate it because he's losing assets. He's losing a
Right.
woman who is willing, who is not even willing. Just you like him, and you
Right.
guys been all through the what I call the pre-qualification, like the pre-qualifying stuff, like the
Sure.
talking, getting to know each other, dates and this and that, and the unwritten contract, whatever. So he wouldn't want to cut that off because it's like, well, yeah, you are an asset. Like you are. I'm not
Right.
saying you're not. You are an asset. It's just, is the asset worth the cost of commitment? No. That
Right.
means if I stick around, unless I negotiate, like what she's trying to do, it's like, well, I don't want a relationship, but it doesn't mean I want to stop talking to you. I wish we can keep on
Hmm.
talking. And then when women agree to that, they get the raw end of the deal.
Now, what, okay, let's say, and this may not be the case. He doesn't know what he wants. It's possible he'll want kids. But let's just pretend this scenario that he didn't want kids and and I have all these assets. What about my age is actually like it is a cost, but you said the assets have to outweigh the cost. So why does
Because
the
why
cost?
would I date you, a 40-year-old, when I can date a 25-year-old who's more attractive and who's actually 25?
Because he might see me as equally attractive, and he might be attached to me because we have an emotional attachment
But why?
too.
Okay, but maybe he has an emotional attachment to her.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See, yeah,
Yeah.
I know, I'm playing devil's advocate. I know I'm being harsh. I apologize, but
No,
I
you
mean,
need to be. I'm a
yeah.
philosophy major, so
Oh, okay, good.
like
I
when I
love.
ask
Hey,
all these,
yeah.
yeah, when I question things, it's not because I'm actually trying to get to the bottom of it. If you can convince me of everything, even after I've exhausted all the possibilities, then I can be more accepting of like
Well,
the
I mean, I
reality
could
of
get into
having
like the
fun.
evolutionary psychology of it because a lot of people are so much more instinctive than they think. But it's because of this whole like, I mean, I guess you can get into like Freudian psychology, like the id, ego, superego, the iceberg thing. Like you're only
Yeah,
aware of 5 or 10% of what's really going on in your head. But evolution has done a very, very, very good job of making you very instinctive. And when your job
right.
as an organism is to survive and reproduce. That is we all are all temporary meat bags for future offspring. Like that's what we are, just to hold in house DNA to produce
Hmm.
future offspring. Now, when I say that, if you don't want offspring and kids, that's fine. I'm just talking about from like the bigger picture, not what you want, not what I want, but what the job of the organism is, or what they want to accomplish is to survive
Right.
and reproduce. when it comes to survival and reproduction, you're going to increase the chances when you're dating a younger woman. Now, it might not seem like it because women can do everything a man can. Women, don't need a man for survival. Women have, as many rights. Women, you can raise a kid on your own nowadays. But tens of thousands of years ago, that was not the case.
Right.
If you were pregnant, you were slower, you were vulnerable, you needed more resources, more calories, more vulnerable to predators. It just wasn't the same. So when a man, and again, the infancy rate or survival rate was nowhere what it is today. So men thrive on very, very, very younger, or not, or back then it was very young, but now, just younger women in general. And there's a reason why men, again, that's just youth equals fertility, basically. And that's why we might not think of it like that. I look at a woman's boobs and be like, oh, boobs. But why do I like boobs? Well, because it's a childbearing cue. A woman who has breasts, or a woman who's in shape, or a woman who has curves, or a woman who looks healthy, or a woman who has hips, these are all childbearing cues. This tells my instinctive lizard brain, chimp brain, that, hey, this woman's more fertile, this woman's more likely to have a successful rate. That's why.
All right. Let me ask you this question then, because that's kind of interesting. So what if you were to take a 40-year-old woman versus a 25-year-old woman, and they look equally attractive?
Okay.
And the 25-year-old woman can't have kids. She's barren.
Well, then why would he not just date another 25-year-old?
I see what you're saying. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is that there are men, there are exceptions. So what makes those exceptions?
And
if there are exceptions, if there's a rule to those exceptions, do I qualify for that rule?
Well, you probably that's kind of, you worded it wrong, because if it's the exception, I would argue there's no rules for it, right? It's the exception to the rule, and I think that is
because you could have 90% of the time this is what happens, except in cases where.
No, but that's what I'm trying to get at. I can't say it, because I think that's more based on how strong the emotions are, for the guy, for the woman, But again, that gets to, I hate saying that, because that gets to the point where it's like, it gives women hope, and it's like, well, these are really strong emotions, and she's a very, very attractive very attractive 40-year-old. Someone who raises his status too. That's why older men like younger women. A 40-year-old man, 45-year-old man would date a 30-year-old woman. That raises his status amongst his tribe. It doesn't raise a man's status. A 25-year-old guy dating a 40-year-old does not raise his status. He's dating you because he likes you.
But he showed me off to all his friends all the time.
That's great, but at the end of the day, he's not talking to you. He doesn't want a relationship. So, it's one of those things where it's like, why not do it?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But getting to what you asked, the about the exception to the rule, that it could be mommy issues, daddy fucking issues. People have that thing. It could be, hey, I just really like this girl. It could be a lack of options, a lack of experience. Yeah. Maybe, he lost his virginity. It could be millions of things. Maybe he just really likes you.
Well, that's why I was wondering.
Well, if he did, he would jump into a relationship with you, is what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying, yeah. So the fact that he didn't want to... So I guess I'll finish the story. It's probably not going to be any different from what you're saying, but I will finish in case you had some more commentary about it. And then just to kind of help me. So when we started being friends again, we definitely had chemistry still with each other. We would hang out and we'd have, moments or whatever. He did do a good job at first of not flirting with me, but we could tell that we liked each other still or whatever. We continued like that for a few months. He would still FaceTime me all the time. Let's see. I told him there was one point, this is kind of embarrassing, but he started crossing the boundaries again and had said something about asking to see my boobs, and I said no. It was on the phone. It was kind of joking around, and he's like, why not, or whatever, and I said no, I saved that for certain people, blah blah blah. And I said something to the effect of, I can't remember how it happened, but he found out. I didn't even know I said something about not even knowing that he was attracted to me still. And he was like, what? Of course I never stopped being attracted to you. I'm very attracted to you. He was talking about how attracted he was to me, blah, 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 blah. But I, shut him down. We're just friends, whatever.
Good.
So then, and then he was telling me, we were talking about, I said, he said, because I was upset with him. We talked about what had happened. I said, if you already knew you didn't want to be exclusive with me from the beginning, why didn't you say anything? And I said, if you knew you weren't a relationship kind of guy, when I told you I didn't want to be a hookup girl, why didn't you tell me then? And he said, well, I didn't know that if I wanted anything with you. And when you wanted to be exclusive, you asked me too soon. And he said, my last girlfriend, we evolved into a relationship over several months. And he said, I thought that's kind of how things would go. And then when you asked too soon, it freaked me out. But, perhaps they would have evolved naturally that way. And anyway, it was shortly after that conversation that he had asked me about the boobs thing or whatever. So I thought he was trying to,
of course he is.
Start, see where things would go again or whatever. Okay. And so fast forward to yesterday. This is where everything just kind of blew up.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, well, let's see how things go maybe. And so yesterday on the phone, we were talking and we accidentally got disconnected. And then we got back on the phone and I made a joke again in reference to the boob thing. And I just said something like, well, I guess you blew it for hanging up on me. I was going to show you my boobs, but I changed my mind now.
Oh, you don't tease a guy like that.
What?
Oh, you don't tease him. You got pissed about that, huh?
He did, but I was joking. I was trying to be playful. Was that not a good way to be playful?
I mean, you're playful, but if you give a guy a hope on wanting to see boobs, I mean, I know where both sides are coming from. You're being playful, yeah, I know, but...
Yeah, I was just being playful, and I thought he would take that as a signal. Well, I thought he would take that as a signal that I was trying to flirt back with him and that maybe there would be something there. And he was like, he did get mad, and I was so confused because he was like, well, he said, I know you wouldn't do that, so we're just friends. So I thought I was feeling rejected, and I thought, okay. I said, how do you know I wouldn't do that? And he goes, because we're just friends. And I said, well, on Saturday, you were FaceTiming me and changing in front of me. And I saw your boobs. I was still trying to be playful. And he was getting so mad. And he goes, I didn't do anything in front of you I wouldn't do in front of anybody else. Just being very, I don't know. I felt like he was brushing me off, and I was like, okay. I kind of pushed it a little. I was like still trying to joke because I wasn't sure if he was mad, but I was sensing it. And I said, you were totally doing that on purpose. He's like, no, whatever you want to think. And he was
God, he sounds like a douche, man. Fuck.
I
give
really
you credit for at least keeping it going, like trying. Like, I'm talking about in the phone. First off, I wouldn't be giving this guy any chances. As soon as he said, nah, I don't want a relationship, I'm like, hey, fuck you, bye. And just hung up on, but of course, I know he kind of like broke the wall down, weaseled his way back in. They always do. Women end up like reminiscing and think about him. And her walls come down. But I would have been done with that motherfucker overall. But
well, it got worse. I called him out. So I listened to your videos about calling him out. So anyway, then he goes, I gotta go now. So he's like, I gotta go. I've got stuff to do. I'm like, okay, that's weird. So we hung up, and then he likes to call if we're mad, but I didn't want to call. I just texted him and I called him out. I said, you have double standards. I put it more eloquently in the text, but basically I told him that it's not cool that he thought he could flirt with me about something about my boobs, and then if I flirt back with him that he gets mad about it. I said that's a double standard. And he said something like, actually, let me just put you on speaker. I'll read it because they're short. Okay, yeah, I said, you seemed angry at me for joking with you about boobs, even though you were the one who was first joking with me about that. Why do you think it's okay for you to do that, but not for me to joke around as well? That's a double standard, and that does not sit well with me. It's possible the anger you displayed is coloring my perception, so I need you to be straight with me. What's going on? And he said, boobs are nothing to joke about. And I said, that's a lame answer. He said, lame questions get lame answers.
God, he's such a douche. Hey, you did the right thing there. Like, it is a double standard.
Good.
Oh, you did. You did 100% did the right fucking thing there.
Okay, good. Well, then the next part I said, well, you don't get to be shitty with me for doing the same thing you did. I'm not going to walk around on eggshells because you might blow your lid when you do that crap. And he said, LOL, you're being ridiculous. I wasn't even mad. He was trying to pretend he wasn't mad about it. And I said, don't tell me that. I'm not an idiot. And he said, I didn't call you an idiot. I called you ridiculous. So I said, it was obvious you were annoyed. Pretending you weren't isn't fooling me. He said, LOL, I'll tell you what, you can believe whatever you want to, and if you're interested in the reality of it, come and ask me. I said, mind games bore me. Telling someone you're attracted to them and flirting, but then acting repulsed if they do the same thing is not okay. And then I said, I like you, but I'm not sold on the idea that navigating a friendship is working out very well. And then he got angry and he said, all right, now you're going to piss me off with this shit. Sold? Who the hell is selling anything? I am who I am, not going to change. Let me know if that works for you. And yeah, like,
he's only salty because you actually. This is why I tell women to call motherfuckers out, like, because you actually did what you're supposed to do. You're taking
right.
like it's easy when a woman falls into the narrative that I call it framing, like the frame that the guy's creating, and she's playing more reactive, and he's taking lead, and he has the power. But when a woman's like calling a guy out on his bullshit, kind of catches them off guard, which is what happened. Because he says he doesn't like mind games. That's exactly what he's doing. You can't talk about boobs and then the next day or the next time you bring it up, he gets upset. And then you know, he says he doesn't like gains, but he knows he's leading you on. He knows he didn't want a fucking relationship, but then he gaslights you and says, "Oh, it's because you asked me too early." Nah, dude, you fucking knew. You knew, man. Come on.
Yeah, gaslighting is exactly what it was, especially
he
when
gaslighted
he
the
pretended
shit
he
out of you
wasn't
this whole
upset.
time. Yeah. He started gaslighting you when back maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes ago when you were telling me about 20 minutes ago when you were telling me about the you know, he didn't want the relationship, but he's trying to keep you around, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, that's when he was gaslighting you, like texting you all that after.
Right, trying to. He was like, "Oh, you have to go easy on me because it's really hard, and I enjoy being around." And I asked him, "Why do you want to be friends?" And he goes, "Because I enjoy you." And I'm sure he meant that.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, but
no.
That's with the preface that, hey, we'll continue what we're doing. And then once you said no to the boobs thing, you know, then he's going to retaliate by calling you our friends. And try to regain the power, which is what he's doing. And then,
is that why?
You turned him down. You turned him down. Absolutely, no, you turned him down. Like, I'm talking about the talk you had, like, where you turned him down about the boobs thing.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize.
Oh yeah, he's retaliating.
It was revenge.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say revenge. I would say retaliating. I know that sounds kind of the same,
he would have been happy, like, oh, she's reconsidered. And
oh no, because he knows you're bullshit. He knows you're lying about it, but he's frustrated because.
But I wasn't lying, so he thinks I was lying.
Why would you show him your boobs?
Because I would have worked up. I wouldn't have just randomly showed him my boobs.
No. Well, I'm glad this ended the way it did then, because there's no reason to do that. You would have lost all value.
I was thinking that eventually, like, we would have worked out.
No, you should never. Ever show him your boobs again.
Oh no, no.
You just said you were. Now you're lying to me.
No. I said I was okay with. I was going to show my boobs, but not right then. Like, I was.
No. What I'm saying is, after he said, not even that talk, just previously, I don't want a relationship. Why would you ever show him anything? He doesn't deserve it. You're friends with benefits now.
No, I didn't. I didn't show. I didn't have.
You were going to eventually, though. You said.
Only if we were dating again. I was trying to flirt with him so that he would, like, recognize.
But that's what I'm saying. So that goes back to what I said. Well, he knows you weren't going to. Like.
Oh, I see what you're saying, and that's why he said it's not cool to joke about boobs or whatever.
Well, yeah, because of the previous conversation, he wanted to see your boobs.
Yeah. Well, that backfired. Well, I mean, I guess.
No, it didn't backfire. You did the right thing.
Yeah. I meant for him to just see that I was just trying to be flirty and give him a
No, you
hint
did
that it
the
was
right thing.
okay
This
to
is
date me, but
what
he's
you're
an
seeing.
asshole.
What you're seeing is the guy's true intentions. It was What you did the right thing there,
Okay.
and
All
calling him
right.
out because he is
Yeah.
bullshitting you.
Okay. Well, I feel better then that I did the right thing.
Oh no, 100%.
What mistakes did I make then? I know that you probably are going to say I made the mistake of even agreeing to be friends again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Listen,
Yeah.
you don't ever go backwards. I don't care what any woman says, listening, talking, like you don't go backwards unless you moved on. Meaning, like, I have a fucking not even that, man. I feel like women will not agree with me on this. I don't give a shit. They all shut up. Like, you just
Right.
as soon as you cross that line, you cross that line. This guy does not. I mean, unless you both agree that you're just not attracted to each other and you're better off friends and you're not bullshitting yourself.
Right.
And emotions are, out of the picture. Okay. But if you agree to friends, you're literally lowering your value. You're going backwards from what you actually want. I always say, and this goes off the saying I always preach in my videos, women get to the point where they desire a man so much that they fear losing him to the point where they lower their standards to keep him around, and then they wonder why they're in the situation they're in. That's a long quote.
Sure.
But yeah, that's what would have happened here.
Do you think that at this point that I still maintain my dignity in the sense that
hell yeah.
I was the one, because I'm the one that called the shots about he begged me to stay friends. I said no, and then I came back. I told him
You lost value there.
Did
you
I?
Lost, oh yeah, because you can't. You're going back. You cannot say I want a relationship. Don't take the idea of a relationship out of it.
Well, I didn't tell him I wanted a relation. I told him I wanted to be exclusive.
Okay, but either whatever you call it, take whatever the word is out of it, and let's use money instead. What you're literally saying is, hey Elliot, this costs $100, and I'm like, nah, I'm not paying $100 for that. I'll do $50, and then you're like, no, fuck that, I'm not doing that. And then I'm like, okay, whatever, bye. And then you come back later and say, okay, I'll do it for $50. That's exactly what happened.
Okay, even though I wasn't giving him sex.
Well, who cares? He didn't ask for sex. He asked for, well, I guess he kind of did, but I mean, he felt like
he wanted it.
Well, he did. But he could weasel his way back in. It's no skin off his back.
But here's the thing that really got me is he turned me down for sex. So after the first time when I told him, when I was in that stage where I was supposed to be thinking about it, I don't know if you remember, I said I asked if we were exclusive, and he said no, and I was supposed to be thinking about it. Well, he actually had turned me down for sex, and I thought, oh, he must just really be turned off by me. So anyway, we had talked about that when we were friends again, and he said, I was attracted to you, but I was trying to show you that I was respecting your wishes and not I wanted to show you I wasn't just using you for sex.
Nah, it's not that. What it is the fact that it's the pressure. When you're asking for exclusivity and he says no and then he sleeps with you, it gives women hope sometimes. Oh, he's changing his mind, or he's this, he's that. It's pressure. It's context. I always say context layers, right? So if you're seeing each other, in school, out school, you're talking consistently, you're hooking up, and then you're asking for exclusivity, and he's like, no. He obviously knows you want something a little more,
Right.
And then if a guy goes back and kind of hooks up with you after that,
Right.
It's just pressure. It's putting pressure on him.
Which is weird because he was still talking about wanting to take me out on dates. And he was still FaceTiming me. So it's you want to FaceTime me and take me on dates, but you turn me down for sex.
Well, that's the renegotiation, the turning you down for sex and saying what he said. I don't want a relationship, or I don't want anything serious. That you can't say that and then bang a girl. You have to.
He had some kind of human decency then, basically.
No. I don't mean that. No. Not human decency at all. Because if you didn't say anything, he didn't do it for you. He did it for him. It's the
Oh,
pressure.
okay.
It's the pressure. But when he says no to that,
Okay.
it kind of doubles down on what he said about not wanting anything exclusive. Now, women would be like, well, why is he asking me out then? Why is he doing this? Well, because
Right.
after he doubles down on it, it kind of like cements the fact that, hey, I'm serious. I don't want a relationship. And you kind of know that when not only do you get turned down by sex, you get turned down by the exclusivity talk, having the talk. But then after, so it's a renegotiation. So then when I come back around as a guy and you say you agree to all this, he should assume that you're agreeing to this upon the fact that I don't want a relationship. So he has to ease his way back in somehow.
Sure.
So of course he's going to invest in you and then get back into it. And a woman, if she says like, well, why are you doing all this? Why are you hooking up with me when you say I don't want a relationship? Like, what the fuck you talk about? Because I want to hang out with you. Like, and he's going to be in the right.
Yeah. Right. And that's where the gaslighting comes in.
Yeah,
too.
he's gaslighting. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I don't know if he'll. I'm not going to contact him again.
I don't think he will just because of ego.
Probably not. I mean, there's been a couple of other times where we got in an argument and he did call me
Okay, then
a
he
few
might,
days
yeah.
later.
But if he
So
does,
might.
What does it matter? I mean, you're not going to get a relationship. If you go back, you have no value.
Right. Yeah, no. Yeah. I get, so what is the best thing to tell him? Do I say, hey, hit me up if you ever want a relationship. Otherwise,
No,
I don't
why
wanna
would he
talk
get a chance to a relationship? Because you like him? He doesn't deserve you. He
because
doesn't.
I'm a sucker.
No. But I mean, okay. What
Because
I'm
I'm
saying.
addicted.
No. Okay, I'm gonna say when I say this, I totally I'm speaking like a lack of emotion. I totally understand where you're coming from. I like the guy. I want to work out with the guy. There's emotion. I'm addicted. Of course, you're human. But you have to look at it more, like you said, philosophical, or philosophy, or just in terms of value. He doesn't deserve you. He doesn't deserve an opportunity. Yeah, you like him. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. He doesn't deserve the opportunity. Not when he treats you like this. Not when he's a double standard motherfucker. Not when he gaslights you. Not when he says I don't want a relationship but still wants to keep you around to reap the benefits, even though he knows you're getting the short end of the stick. He doesn't deserve it.
Right. I agree with you logically, completely. I logically know that.
But then, no, that's fine. But
me.
then just for.
And then the weak side of me that's addicted, and and here's the other thing that's kind of an asshole move of him. He knew my son had just died when we started dating, and he knew I was in a vulnerable place. Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of the reason I'm having trouble letting go, because I have let go of and walked away from other men quite easily, and this is the first time I'm struggling, and I think it's because of the emotional vulnerability that I've been experiencing. So
it could be. Then why would you say though 5 minutes ago about him having human decency if you knew that?
Because I don't think anyone's all bad.
I
think it's a mixture. Yeah, I think
I was playing devil's advocate. I agree with you. I don't think there's anything wrong. Yeah, I agree. And people are going to be like, "Oh, you're a shitty coach for saying this." But I mean, just because that event happened to you, and then this guy goes in and tries to do what he's doing, like you don't like. It's just assumptions. You don't know that he's trying. Like I don't think this guy's that fucking evil that he would do that.
No, you're right.
I mean, people think that,
I'm pointing out that I am vulnerable, and that's why I'm having a harder time.
No, what I'm saying is
so
I don't think he's taking. What I'm saying is I don't think he's taking advantage of the vulnerability. And at the end of the day, I hate to say this, but it's the truth. I hold everyone to this I guess you could say accountability. But you're a big girl. You're a grown woman.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a grown man.
You can't help it. If you're a person and you like somebody, you're going to go as far with them as you can. And so you can't blame them for that. And it's my job to set boundaries. And I do think that he likes me and cares about me on some level, but not enough. Like, not enough to overpower his own selfishness. He's admitted to me before. Yeah, he's told me before. He said, I'm selfish and I need to work on that. And I'm just not ready to be that for somebody. So he knows what his weaknesses are.
Oh, absolutely.
And he has apologized to me before, but he also has times where he should.
I think he's a piece of shit, personally. I don't think he deserves you.
Well, thank you.
No, seriously. Like, Elliot. I know you like the guy.
Even though I'm older than him. Even though I'm 10 years older than him.
Even if you're older, I mean, you still got to treat like I said to you in the very beginning. If you and I were dating or friends of benefits, you know, and let's say I don't want a relationship with you, there's still that human to human respect. Like I'm not, you know, I mean, if we actually met and we're hooking, not some like, you know,
Yeah.
like Tinder fling or something like that, but people actually met, their friends of benefits, they're hanging out, hooking up, stuff like that. Like you got to
Right.
treat that person with decent, like just decent human, like
Well, yeah, that's
just
how we met at
decency,
school. We were
respect,
not
or respect. Yeah.
Tinder matches, you know. We met
No,
on
I'm just saying,
campus
like in
in
general,
class.
like there's women who would be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's women who I ghosted on Tinder, like fuck it, I don't owe her shit, like she don't owe me shit either,
Yeah.
like you know, whatever. But I'm talking about like
Exactly.
if you're actually hooking up and being vulnerable and opening up to each other, hanging out, having fun, banging
Right.
stuff. Like, there's a human to human kind of like decency, like respect. You know, put some respect to my name type of thing. You know, so he needs to give
He's not
you
doing that.
that. Not right now, he's
Yeah.
not. But I understand he
He's
might
not
be a
being
little pissed
respectful.
too. But it's not even that. It's just the fact that he knows what he's doing. I think in the sense that he doesn't want a relationship, but he wants the assets. And I can't blame a guy for doing that either. You know, because like I said, at the end of the day, you're a big fucking girl. Now, manipulating a woman is one thing. No. But if I say, hey, I like you, I don't want a relationship, I wish we would still bang, and she's okay with it, oh, that's on you then.
Right. Well, I couldn't understand why he didn't know what I wanted either way. So he just kind of, whatever made him mad, he jumped to conclusions in his
Oh, no,
head.
I agree. Yeah,
And when I
assumptions.
tried to talk to him about it, he acted like a baby. So,
He is a baby.
you know, it's like, okay, so last piece of advice, because I know my time is out.
Yep, go ahead.
It's clear to me that I really shouldn't be dating younger guys, which is going to be hard because, you know, just as much as
I mean, do it. Listen, do it. You're gonna kiss a lot of damn frogs. If it happens, it happens. If it, you know, if something turns out, or sorry, if, you know, if
I just don't want to get hurt again. I don't want this to happen again. I don't want to. I'm having a hard time being attracted to people my age because I've been dating people that are younger. That's a new standard now for me, and I've been in school with younger people. That's what I'm accustomed to.
yeah,
So I can't help it. Attraction is not a choice, right? So
That's true.
I'm not attracted to people my age. So now I feel like, great, I'm just going to be alone now because I'm not attracted to people my age and nothing's going to work out with
no,
anyone
listen.
younger.
Hey,
So what do I do?
well, you still, if you will still try younger, then I think you should go after whoever you like, and that's going to contradict everything I just said. But I never
Yeah, you
want
have to explain that
I
one.
never. Well, I mean, I just never want a woman to settle. I don't want man or woman to settle. But it gets to the point where you're going to get smacked in the face enough by life that you're going to realize, okay, this isn't working. You know. And then you're just gonna.
I'm
have
already there. I'm
well,
already,
you're gonna get. Well, but okay. So here's the way I like to explain things. It's a little philosophical, but and you know, I'm not a big believer in like. I believe in a higher power, but whatever that means. You know, I believe the universe is very, very, very mechanical. Without structure, there's chaos. It's the saying I always say to myself. Without structure, there's chaos. It's very mechanical. Right. Everything's supposed to work in a way. I don't mean that in terms of like karma or a butterfly effect. I just mean that in sense of, the example I like to use all the time is like a woman who is dating a woman who wants a relationship with a guy who doesn't want a relationship. The universe looks at that and be like, well, it doesn't care about emotion. It's just logical. The universe will look at that and be like, I don't like what this doesn't fucking work. He doesn't want a relationship. Why are you there? And you're going to try to make it work as a woman because we're humans, not even as a woman, just humans. We're going to try to make it work because we're emotionally based creatures. And the universe is like, no, that's not how it works. And you're going to get smacked in the face. And it's going to be from a heartbreak, from getting played, from getting used, from getting ghosted, from whatever. And that's the universe telling you, you got to change. Now, if you don't, the universe is like, okay, I'm not changing. That's not how it works. So I'm going to smack you in the face again. And you're going to get, I guess, like, I think of everything as an opportunity for personal growth. And that's what it is, to become the highest version of yourself. And so another thing's going to come in your life. Another man or this guy, it could be the same guy trying a different thing, whatever, and the same thing's going to happen. And it's going to keep on happening to you until you realize, okay, like obviously a person who wants a relationship and a person who doesn't, that does not work. You know, it's one of those.
Oh, okay. I think I see. You're saying that if I'm dating younger guys,
yeah, exactly.
If they reject me, that's probably the reason, because of the age. But that doesn't mean they will
not just
reject
that. It's the fact, and again, it might work because there might be a guy out there who's like, hey, I fucking love older women. It's my thing, whatever. But from a universal perspective, from a Mother Nature perspective, that's not how it works. And there's going to be a lot of trial and error by you keep on trying that. And it's going to keep on happening because Mother Nature is not attended to that. Or the universe does not. People will not agree with me.
But then shouldn't I stay away from it?
No, that's what I'm trying to say. No, that's what I'm trying to get at. Then it's going to smack you in the face enough until you realize it catches on. Hey, this stove is hot. I shouldn't touch this stove. These men are younger. They want younger women. I'm going to keep on getting hurt. Now, the problem a lot of humans have is we think we have all this free will and that instinct is not a thing, that we can overcome it. And again, there's exceptions to the rules, and I see that, and that could be me. Just follow fucking suit. You're no one special. Not talking to you, just in general. No humans, anyone fucking special. Follow suit. Be a fucking sheep, and just follow the way Mother Nature wants things to go, or how Mother Nature wants things to be. Again, if you want to try and date the 35-year-old, or the 30-year-old, you can try that. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm talking about like your tolerance. There's going to be a point where you end up doing that so many times, and hey, it might work, but the chances are no. Well, then you're going to have to raise your number, whether that's 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 to 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. And you're going to get to a spot where it's like, okay, well, this is what works. That's just the way it is.
That makes sense. Do it to the point where I don't want it anymore. And that
no, it's not that, because you can still want it. It's just not realistic.
Right, but I'll learn from it, is what you're saying, and that it'll help me.
That's how all life lessons are. Oh yeah, it's not even just that. Yeah. It's just that's how all life lessons are learned. The universe puts the lesson in front of you and it's an opportunity for personal growth. It's an opportunity for exploration. It's an opportunity for just progress. And if you don't learn it, then the opportunity is going to people become their own worst enemy, like these self-fulfilling prophecies. Like if you don't learn, then you're not learning, so you're staying on the same crooked course. You're going to run into it again and again.
Well, then, and tell me this: how difficult is it for me to find even someone my age? Because I'm hearing a lot of coaches out there or guys online talk about how even men, like once you're 40, you're invisible. There's this thing: you're 40, you're invisible. So men in their 40s are also wanting younger. So
they are.
So am I just kind of like?
I wouldn't say you're invisible, but I mean it's true. I mean a man who's 40 doesn't want a 40-year-old. He wants a 35-year-old.
Yeah.
So I know that's hard. I know that's harsh to hear, but it's just, I'm not saying you got to be a 50 or 60-year-old, no, but I mean, you'll see. I mean, listen, it's just what they call the sexual marketplace, your sexual market value. You will know your value if you're an attractive 40-year-old, like you say you are. Then you're not going to have to worry about a 50-year-old.
Okay. So I could probably get people my own age at least.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise, I'd rather be alone.
No, I agree. You can get people your age. But if you think your market value is a higher number just because you're a 40-year-old who looks 30, that's great for 40-year-olds. That's not great for a 30-year-old. A 30-year-old don't want a woman who's 40 who looks 30. They want a banger. Okay. They don't. But they want a 25-year-old who looks 25.
That's helpful. That is good to know.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about 50-year-olds. You just have to worry about anywhere from, I'll say, 37 to 43. Okay.
That is helpful. I can manage that. I need to be realistic. So
that's what it is. And it sounds like I attacked the woman. It's just not realistic. A man's value is based in his resources. A woman's value.
Nature's not pretty.
Huh?
Nature is cruel. It's not pretty. And
No,
you
it
didn't
is.
make it that way.
I agree.
So,
I agree. And a woman's value is based on her youth and looks. I hate to say that.
yeah,
And when
it
I
is
say
how it
that,
is.
yeah, just so everyone doesn't like come to me at pitchforks. When I say that, I'm not saying personality doesn't matter. I'm not saying you
Oh,
can't
no.
contribute. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't contribute to society and the community and be
Yeah.
something bigger and better than yourself. Of course you can. You can contribute just as much and be just as much as a man.
Right.
But in fucking Mother Nature's eyes, she don't give a shit about emotions.
Nope. And I agree with you. And I'm the kind of person that wants to know, if I ask if I look fat, you better tell me if I look fat. So
Oh, you're not, so you're
even
good.
if I don't, I know. But what I'm saying is,
I get what
do
you're
wanna
saying, though.
know
The truth.
Yeah, I want to know the truth.
This is the whole red pill thing. I don't mean red
Yeah.
pill like philosophy or red pill like with the guys, the MGTOW community and all that. I'm
Right.
not talking about that. This is just reality.
Yeah, Matrix red pill. The Matrix
This is
red
nature's.
pill.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. This is nature's red pill. It likes a man. This is why guys in their 20s are like women. I guess a woman who's 25, she doesn't want a 21-year-old boy. She wants a 30-year-old man because this 30-year-old man has his shit together. He's done with the fucking games. I mean, comparative to a 20-something-year-old.
Yeah.
He has his shit together. He might be buying his first home. He has some money. He can actually take care of a fucking family and someone more than just himself. She don't want a 25-year-old. Don't want no 21-year-old guy. Maybe to have fun with.
Right, and if the younger women are accepting the older men, then of course the older men are going to pass over a woman
Bingo.
their age for someone younger.
Now
so,
you see the cycle. Yes.
Yeah, well, women kind of have done it to ourselves then.
No, I wouldn't
So,
say that. It's just Mother Nature. Like
I'm joking.
no, but no, I know you are. But I mean, it's just it goes back to the survival and reproduction type of thing.
Yeah.
A woman needs to secure herself. Again, from an evolutionary perspective, tens of thousands of years ago, she needs to secure herself by securing a man with resources.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's true.
And a man needs to secure the reproduction aspect of it by finding a youthful, and again, a man with resources, an older man, or a man who's more established. While a man needs to establish the reproduction aspect of it by finding a woman with fertility, youth, high rate of success in those categories. So that's just how Mother Nature works.
Right. That makes sense.
You're
That
fine
makes
though.
sense,
Don't
then.
worry about you're a good-looking girl. Don't worry about no 50-year-olds. You just find. I think you can find someone in the late 30s. You'll be fine.
Okay, thank you so much, Elliot, and I appreciate your thorough call and being so mindful and telling me like it is. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. I wish you the best of luck. Hope everything works out and you have a good one, okay?
All right, take care, Elliot.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.